This is Velella, our Tom Wylie designed 31-footer. We're Ryan and Autumn, and this is a log of our cruise around Vancouver Island in 2016. My grandpa passed away a few days before we departed, so we left Shilshole and first headed south to Gig Harbor to spend a little time with family in a celebration of his life. We toast with a glass of akavit and sneak a bottle back aboard for the trip around the island. Departing Gig Harbor on the day before the summer solstice, we had a few long, beautiful days of motoring, with some sailing mixed in. Paddleboarding at sunset on the longest day of the year, Montague Harbor is one of our favorite stops in the Gulf Islands. Onward north from Montague to Nanaimo, across the Straits of Georgia to Pender Harbor and Cortez Island, with some nice southerlies, then into the inlets along the mainland via the Yucatan Rapids. Shoal Bay, a hippie paradise on East Thurlow Island, was our highlight. We breezed through Greenpoint and Whirlpool Rapids onto a glassy Johnstone Straits. Lagoon Cove was our first stop in the Broughton Islands. After 7 long days, it felt like we had arrived. Lots of tidal lagoons to explore. This one at Potts Lagoon was pretty exciting, running it well before slack. Birdwoods are definitely some of the most stunning islands we've seen. Here's a culturally modified tree still standing on one of the islands. No visit to the Broughtons is complete without a visit to Pierre's at Echo Bay, and you have to be there on pig roast night. Then you take a walk over to Billy Proctor's house and museum. Billy has been in the area so long that when we asked him about the tree in the Birdwoods, and whether whoever logged that area would have saved it as something of cultural significance, Billy replied that it was in fact his logging claim, and if it had been a good tree, he would have cut it down. It's pretty peaceful and secluded when you get off the beaten path. Week in the Broughtons and we were itching to get out to the west coast, so we headed for Port McNeill on the Vancouver Island side to stock up, making a little coffee on our way up Gletus Channel. Bull Harbor is a good place to hang out at the north end of Vancouver Island, waiting for good weather to round Cape Scott. We snuck across the Nowitty Bar in fog. Cape Scott just peeking through. A bit of sailing, mostly not miserable. Winter Harbor is a good stop off for fuel and to stretch your legs. A pretty cool place. You get to know what kind of beaches a bear might like, and lo and behold, if it looks like a bear beach, there usually is a bear there. Light wind or no wind, motoring down the coast towards Klaskino Inlet. Glaskish Basin, just north of Brooks Peninsula, has a pretty impressive entrance. A little beach fire and some more creek exploration. There's Brooks Peninsula. Sailing towards Columbia Cove on the south side of Brooks, the trail from the anchorage leads to one of the most gorgeous white sand beaches. Kite up on the way to the Bunsbys. Hard to describe the Bunsby Islands other than to say it is a gorgeous, incredible playground. Getting a little dinghy sailing in. Rainy day at Rugged Point. We found a Velella jellyfish on the beach. A little southerly for the jump down the coast to New Chatlets near the mouth of Esperanza Inlet. An awesome little anchorage, and some local folks brought us a beautiful spring salmon fillet. Always more nooks to explore. Heading up towards Esperanza, towards the town of Tassus, and then down Tassus Inlet, you can travel around Nootka Island and bypass a little stretch on the ocean. Nootka means go around in the native language. A lot more sport fishing boats around, and everybody is catching fish. More epic sailing. There's a giant mola mola. Those Velellas better watch out. If you don't know, the ocean sunfish eat the Velellas. Pretty still morning at Boat Basin in Hesquiat Harbor. Lots of jellyfish. It's a pretty short row to Peter Buckland's place on the beach near Coo Granny's homestead. Peter has built a pretty amazing place upon Coo Granny's garden. making our way towards Hot Springs Cove, like it or not, with a few more boats around. Of course, the hot springs are the reason to visit. A little trout stalking in Clayoquot Sound. More epic rivers to explore. We spooked some nice-sized sea run cutthroat from this pool. Some great sailing when the sea breeze fills in. More creeks. Getting to be later in July and tons of fish around. Of course we get pulled over as we're fighting this fish. This fisheries guy said we were slaying it. Gorgeous sailing towards our favorite town, Tofino. We satisfied our appetite for some restaurant meals, great beers at Tofino Brewing Company, and stocked up on groceries and headed for Barkley Sound. Can you clue it? We run into a familiar boat, our buddies on Yahtzee who we've been chasing all summer. So begins an epic 2-week raft up in some of the most beautiful anchorages on the West Coast. Pinch me, is this Hawaii? Little Barkley Sound dinghy regatta. Our buddy Porter is a real pro at driving the dinghy. Just some gorgeous sea caves and rock formations. some of the most amazing scenery. It's getting into mid-August and time to start heading home. A little foggy, but some fast and fun sailing down the strait, tucking in near Race Rocks for the night. In the morning, we're off again on a gorgeous westerly, running wing and wing past a pot of orcas. Another beautiful day of sailing that ends with a spinnaker run through Mosquito Pass to Henry Island. Hard to beat. We enjoy a couple great days in the San Juans, but we have to get back to work. Time to head south for Seattle. Upon arrival, an aquavit toast to my grandpa and a great summer of sailing, beautiful scenery and good friends. The aquavit has supposedly been across the equator twice in sherry casks before it's bottled and sold. Now it's been around Vancouver.